This is Steve, your friend. Today is Wednesday, June 8th, at exactly 6:39 and 24 seconds in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, in the United States. Today's video is going to be on the brain fitness portion of 180 Cubed Platform 2. I will be showing you a video on the game, the brain game Luminosity. So stick around. I can't do it. That's probably a horrible job of the stereotypical nerd, and I'm not a nerd, as you could probably tell. I can't play a nerd. Even though I have an IT background, I was always stigmatized when somebody said, why don't you go into the old terminology of programming or coding? And all I could envision, and maybe you can too when you hear the word, is just that nerd that's stuck in the closet all night long with the 20,000 cans of Mountain Dew to keep them amped up, and the lights just glaring from the computer screens, and just constantly have to get the job done. And I know that's not like that nowadays. I spent many of years with engineers. Well, now they call them engineers in other terms, but I've spent plenty of times with them, and I don't know what they're like at home, but seeing the way they do the jobs, it's certainly not like maybe that a stereotype that it was. Maybe it did exist. I don't know. But that's something I just couldn't find myself doing. However, I do understand there is some intellect behind being a nerd, and maybe at some point in time, if I really start to focus my energies, and maybe if I can get somebody to unbutton this for me, but if I could really start to focus my energies on sharpening my mind, sharpening my brain, and using tools that'll do that, such as I mentioned before, listening to audiobooks, getting involved in relationships, closer relationships to help create those synapses in the brain to really make you a sharper person, get your cognitive skills up and running, and or I should say up further and running better. And there are just endless possibilities for you to be able to just create a better, more sharper mind. I released I didn't release it, I posted, I should say, a video recently. I posted an article recently about how you can improve your IQ, which I guess it's been known for many, many years that you can't, but apparently you can. And this specific article talked about playing an instrument and how that will raise your IQ. I didn't go into details about reading the article and elaborate on the article. I just posted it for people to read about, and they've got quite a few likes that people enjoyed it. So if you're interested, look at my Facebook page, on the 180 Cubes Facebook page. It's there. And learn how to play an instrument, and that'll raise your IQ. But today I'm going to show you a video and give you some background on the game, the brain game Luminosity. You may have heard it's gotten a lot of hype over the years. There has been a lawsuit brought against the corporation because of some false marketing or false information they've given about specifically the game. I can give you the information about that, but I don't think it's really essential. I think if there's science behind it, it's legitimate and it works, then I'd love to share that with you. And I will take you through, I'm not going to take you through what I do on a daily basis, because when I get up, I try to get the brain going, and I launch one of the games in Luminosity just to clear the cobwebs. And I find it pretty funny that how badly I do when I first wake up, as opposed to as the day progresses and my mind gets my mind sharpens, and I get more focused, and the cognitive skills start to really take over, and it's when my scores start to increase, and I am able to play the game a lot better. When I reflect on what happened in the morning, that goes to show you how you're not awake when you wake up first thing in the morning. So, but I'm going to take you through a video of what it's like when I play the game. Maybe you can get an understanding of how the game is, and I'm also going to provide information about how to get the game and how to utilize the game. So there is a cost to it if you want to pay for it. However, you can play it for free, but it doesn't give you access to the whole system all at once. And I'll talk about that in the video. But I play it for free, and because I'm still playing with it, I want to make sure that it has some credible evidence for me, not what Luminosity claims. I want to make sure that it works for me before I invest the money into it. But I would, for a free game, I would highly recommend it. But we'll go through that when the time comes, and we'll catch you on the other side. This is not Nerd Steve. See you then.
First game in today's challenge, Speed Match. It's an information processing game where you'll see in the tutorial here that what it does is provide you with a symbol on the screen, and then it flips, and then you have the following symbol has to either match or if it doesn't match, you have to indicate that by clicking either the left or the right arrow. So left means no, right means yes. So if you flip it, as you see as it goes through, the symbols that match, you click yes. The symbols that don't match, click no. And the game can go as quickly as you want it to, depending on how, they flip by themselves, but if you're really going right through it and you're clicking the arrows very quickly, they'll flip quickly. As you can see when I'm doing it here, I start up slow, but then when I start recognizing the images, I go through it fairly quickly. Sometimes I get caught up in that because I'm going so quickly and they change on me and I lose track of it and I slow down. The session's about 45 seconds, and obviously the more you get, the more bonus points you get, and obviously the quicker you can get it done. One thing I want to mention though is I'm doing this on the computer, and using the keyboard, left and right keyboard strokes, it's using the index finger and the middle finger. That's different from what I use on the iPhone. On the iPhone, I only use my thumb. But it really doesn't make a difference, I believe, because of the scores. I compared my scores on the computer than I did on the iPhone, and they really don't matter that much. So I guess the dexterity really isn't an issue in this game. The next game in today's challenge is Memory Matrix. Obviously, it challenges your memory. Flashes some tiles, and you have to go back and retrace those tiles where they are and click on them and reveal where they all were. It increases the difficulty as the more you get correct, it goes through. And I'm not going to go through this whole video here, but you'll see as I'm going through here, the tiles increase by 1, and of course they're all randomized, so you have to figure out where they are. And after a while, it tends to get challenging because not only do the amount of tiles that appear grows, but the actual amount of grids on the screen grows too. So you get more of an average there to get it wrong. And you'll see right there. So I got that one wrong, and I believe it probably gives you like another try or two before it goes back to backwards to the point where you have to start over, or starts going back to the lower numbers. So this one may be wrong too, and then eventually it's going to bring me back to 8 tiles again. I believe I'm going to get this one wrong as well. So as you see, it goes back to 8, and then it's going to show you, and you have to go through. And so this has 12 screens, and then it goes back and forth depending on how many you get wrong. So this is Memory Matrix. Obviously, it uses your spatial recall and your memory to challenge you on that. There isn't really a timer on this. It's just a spatial recall to find out exactly where your memory banks are when it comes to stuff like this. So this game right here, I recorded using my webcam and microphone, and the audio is not going to come out. I'm recording over because the audio is just absolutely awful, so I'm re-recording using a different audio system through Camtasia here. And this video is using my iPhone for this game, Train of Thought, which challenges your attention. And as you see right there, divided attention refers to the ability to simultaneously respond to multiple tasks or task demands. As we go through the process, you're going to see how the game plays. I don't fully believe this because I think the level of intensity that you're dealing with here when it comes to making decisions, I think it's too overwhelming to the point where you can sit there and say you can multitask. First of all, there's multiple decisions you have to make at once in a split second. compared to what you would experience on a different level, at least in my life. So I'm as it's going through right now, it just shows you how you have to direct these trains as they come out of the tunnel. And it goes pretty slow at first, but you can see all the different channels that you have to change as it's going through. And I believe what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to explain to everybody how the process works, and I'm also making major mistakes because my mind is not being able to focus. So there is a problem with the multitasking right there. I'm making mistakes because I'm trying to talk and give background on it, and I'm also trying to play the game, which obviously is not working out for me. As you can see, I'm missing the channels, and the trains are just going everywhere. And usually when it goes into the right depot, so as you see, I'm restarting there. Usually when it goes into the right depot, you got a toot. You can't hear it now because of the sound. I deleted the sound, but obviously when it goes into the wrong depot, you can see that it's a big X. It has 14 levels there. As you can see, I'm on a level 11, and obviously the higher the level you get to, the difficulty increases. And every screen has a different grid. So I believe some of the grids are a little bit easier than others, and some of them are, intensely difficult to the point where you really have to make a split-second decision. This one looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 different channels that you have to change depending on which trains are going. Sometimes the stations are right next to each other, so you have to be quickly in that channel right there to change it so the train goes into the right station. And then there are trains going all over the place at the same time, so you really have to click multiple areas at the same time, or lose sight of where the trains are. And they're coming out fairly quickly. There's 4 of them right there. There are times when there's 5 or 6 of them at the same time, and the trains, the stations are all over the place. And sometimes they're back to back, so you have to click the button very quickly to get a train into a station that's right next to each other. But then also get back to the beginning again to make sure that those trains are being rerouted or routed to the proper stations. As you can see, I'm going through it right now, and I'm probably doing okay. I get 16 out of 17. But as the more trains start to come out, the more intense it gets. So now we have 5 right there. You see my finger going kind of berserk because there's so many trains on the screen right now. And I'm still doing pretty good. I just lost another one right there, but and this takes a lot of practice. And I don't know when I shot this one, but what I did mention in this video though when I was recording is I try to launch this first thing in the morning when I wake up just to get the brain going. Maybe give me a little shopper there, and it's absolutely funny when I see my final score because it's I miss so many trains, and on any of these games I do such a horrible job because I'm not awake, and it takes a little while for the brain to really kick into action when you're waking up in the morning. So I recorded this video probably about an hour after I was awake. So ultimately, when it was done, I ended up missing 6. So as we were talking earlier, I was only missing like 1, and then it turned into 2, and then ultimately it ended at 6. So you can see my score right there. I got 35 out of 39 trains. So I guess I only missed 4 then. So that's the train of thought game. I like that the best because of the challenge, and I'm a guy, so I like toy trains, and so that's the Luminosity game that's available on the iPhone. It's not available on the PC. I don't know why the games are different on the PC compared to the iPhone, but there's other games that you can play on either phone or the computer. So that's the tutorial there. So now we're going to close it out with Luminosity. It's going to show you the payment plans, what's available. As you see, there's multiple payment plans here. The best option, the most cost effective. What I'm shooting for down the road is the lifetime, which is right there. You see $300, and I have a coupon that's 30% off. So it brings it down to roughly around $210, somewhere in that range. So I might take advantage of that. And then right here, it gives you the features of having the premium plan. So I believe it's certainly worthwhile if the science is behind it and you can constantly increase your cognition. So I'm going to scroll right through the games here, and they're covered under 5 main areas, which is speed, memory, attention, flexibility, and problem solving. This last one here, language, not sure, it's not available under the free game, so you have to pay for it to get access to it, but that's another consideration of why I probably want to go with the plan, because I want to be able to improve my language skills. So the actual games themselves, and there's 50 plus games. The ones I showed in the video earlier, memory and speed, memory matrix and speed match. This one right here, Eli, I didn't record that because it took a bigger part of the screen, and I wasn't sure I wanted to do that, so I played with the train of thought. And as you go through the games, it has multiple games in each category. And the one I showed in the video was from my iPhone was Train of Thought, but as you can see here, it's not available on the PC version for today's trial. It was only available on the iPhone, but I'm sure that'll be available at some point in time. But this is a good plan, though, because you can probably play 3 games on your iPhone and go back to your PC and play 3 different games. Here's another one I like. It's called Pet Detective. It's under the planning stages. I kind of look at it as like the train of thought thing, because you have to move animals around, but the planning part makes sense because you have to find out exactly the best route to get them back to where they need to go, and you only have a certain amount of steps to do it. And as you scroll through, you see a lot of older games. I know that one right there. I used to remember Word Bubbles, and a few of these other ones looks familiar. So I played those when I was young, or years ago when the program first came out. So that's Luminosity, and I want to remind you guys that 180 cubed, power of 3, 180 days, 180 pound weight goal, and 180 degree lifestyle change. That's 180 cubed. Hashtag living life for 180. Cheers.